You're good. It won't do it. Mm-mm. Great. Nervous?
That's cool.
Yeah. What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Windsor Project Podcast, brought to you by your host, Brandon. Joining me is my beautiful co-host, Jackie, even though she won't talk on the mic today. And joining me is a very special guest. As I was telling you a bit ago, dude, I've seen you kind of, from childhood, essentially.
Yes.
But if you'd like to present yourself and kind of what you do.
Well, I'm Letty Garcia. They known as Pelona. Nobody really calls me Letty because when they call even, they're like, is this Pelona? Yep, this is Pelona. So this is me. I've been trying to get into with this guy for about, how long? A year?
I think so.
And we finally made it happen, right?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're in here, actually. It's badass because, when I started this whole thing, I knew that getting guests was going to be difficult in the sense, like, not everyone's going to say yes to you, you know? Mm-hmm. But I felt like my communication skills and my social skills were good to the point where I can get at least, my name out there. And at least if they say no to me, at least I asked.
You know what it is? It's not that I always think like I didn't know how to tell you like I'm busy and I didn't want you to think I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's just I have a very tight schedule and it's like, God, I really got to, because I like to give back to the community. I like it.
Of course, yeah.
I like to be local, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like to help the community and especially local people trying to be something because I know where I was at and you kind of get like, God, if you don't have those supporters or those people backing you up, how are you going to make it?
Yeah.
So word of mouth is huge.
Yeah. So when I was, doing it, I was like, I told her, I was like, one of the persons that I want to have, one of the people I do really want to have is Pelona. Mm-hmm. And she was actually the one who was like, you should have her on. I'm like, you know what? That's a great idea. I should have her on. And I was like telling her, I was like, how can I ask her though, without like coming off? Because, the whole podcasting in Idaho Falls is very new,
And it's coming out more and more and more. I see a lot of people more doing it. And so it's like, wow.
Yeah. So it's coming up and it's like, it's kind of weird to go up to someone and be like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? And then be like, what, like, I don't know. Because they don't know, you don't have like a track record, that you can show or.
Because they're all different, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, man, I need to ask her. And then I asked you, and then we were like both, yeah, let's do it. And then, you got busy, I got busy and things like that. But now we're here. So
we're here to do it.
It's the best part ever. So I remember seeing you when I was super young because my mom and my dad would wash at the laundromat that you used to be at.
Yeah.
So
I went on my own. Yeah, I think I went with my dad in 2009. So I wasn't really into the food industry, but I worked for my dad. Actually, the reason why is because I went to prison. Let me go back.
Okay, go back. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I went to prison in 2004 for something I didn't do. It was one of my family members, which was my brother. He was doing things that weren't supposed to do. So all of us went down in 2004 when Pearl Harbor hit that day, 12/11 or 12/10.
Okay.
So we all the feds came into our doors at 5:30 in the morning and knocked every doors, like 25 houses at one time. Damn. They all came SWAT and everything. We're like, what the hell is going on?
Holy
we couldn't even warn somebody else. You know what I mean? And so 2004 was hell. Like it happened so fast, so sudden. And then we're like, what's going on? And we couldn't even talk to anybody within the week.
Whoa.
So we were locked up and we're like, what the hell's going on? And we're like, can we call? No, you can't get I mean, they really made us not suffer for like a week before we knew anything.
Do you guys know why you guys got caught?
Yes, because of my brother. He was, doing things he wasn't supposed to be doing. So it was the federal. It wasn't the state. So it was feds.
So they were probably tracking him for some time.
For a little while.
Wow.
So we're like, what the heck? And they're like, if you don't talk what your brother was doing, we're going to give you this much time and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I'm me as a smartass. I'm like, well, why am I going to do your job for you? You already have us. So obviously... I'm not going to do your job for you. Yeah. You already got us for some reason.
If you have me here, then come on now.
Like, well, if you don't tell us what he was doing, we're going to give you so much. They tried to scare me like 20 years ago. Do what you got to do. Let's get this thing rolling. So I was a smart ass.
You were ready to give it 20 years?
Yeah, I was like, whatever. Because I would have never, family. You don't turn on your family. I go, why am I going to do your work for you? If you obviously have us here for a reason. So I'm not going to make it easier for you. That's your
Right.
job. So they got kind of pissy with me, and I'm like, just do what you got to do. If it's 20 years, let's get this rolling, because I'm not going to sit here and wait and keep going to court. Let's just do what you got to do. I was like that. It was just blunt. Like,
how old were you at the time?
I want to say 2004. Let's see. I was 20 years. So we're going 27, 26. Yeah, somewhere around there.
In the 20s?
20s.
Mid-20s.
So I got out when I was in the 30s. So
you did about a couple of years?
5 years.
You did 5 years?
5 years. So federal prison in Victorville, California.
Holy shit, dude. How was that? I mean,
that was crazy. It was just because I've never been in trouble with the law. I mean, we done dumb shit, but not like, oh my God, for being a first charge. I'm like, what?
Ever being in a federal prison?
Federal prison.
You know?
Well, anyways, this all happened. So we took about a year to sentence us, but we were in and out. We had like a lock on our damn foot.
The
monitors, and we're like, oh gosh, let's get this rolling. Well, I told them, I don't want to do your job for you. Let's just get this going. Well, they got me. It came down to, well, we're going to give you conspiracy for knowing the person that you knew what he was doing, but you didn't say anything. It's like, okay, well, all right. So they gave me that charge, me and my brother, but my brother only got a year and a day.
The one who was getting...
Sal, which he lived with my brother, and he only got a year and a day. For me being a smartass, I got 5 years. That's what my mouth got me. I'm like, oh my God. Shit. And I didn't believe it, but me and my brother had the same charge, but look at the difference. He got a year and a day, and I got 5. And I'm like...
What's the day for? I mean...
Like, it's like you do... Basically, you get 2 months good time for 10 months you do. So year and a day. That's what they call it, a year and a day. So 1 day has to pay for the year so you can get the 2 months free.
Oh, gotcha.
So they call it a year and a day, but you really do 10 months.
Okay, I see what
so
you mean.
they every year you get knocked down like a month or 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
depending
they call it a year and a day.
And all that.
But my smart ass mouth got me almost 5 years, and I'm like, oh God, I should have just whatever. But like I told him, I'm not doing your job for you, so do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And my paperwork said this girl has no remorse. She didn't say sorry and all this. I'm like,
she didn't cooperate.
Yeah, she didn't cooperate. I'm like, if you guys know and you have
hilarious.
it on video or have it on paper, then
that's
all you need, right? Well, we need to know that you knew what he was doing. I go, I don't know what he was doing. I'm not going to tell you what he was doing. I don't care. He had his own life. I had mine. I wasn't babysitting him, you know.
Yeah.
And just because I had a phone call with my brother,
that's how they got you.
They got me. So they were tracking his phone, and I'm like, oh brother, let's go to McDonald's and take the kids. They thought that was a drug transaction.
Oh.
Like it had nothing to do with it. We really were taking the kids to go eat, but they call that drug transaction call.
Wow.
So I did my years, got out in 2009, I think mid-July or something like that. So I got out of prison. I had nothing. I lost everything. I had a home, everything.
Wow.
So I stopped. I mean, I was to the bottom. So I was like, okay, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? So nobody looked at, in 2009, people didn't really want to give you a job because you were a felon. But now they're helping the felons. Now it's so much easier.
Right, yeah.
2009, when I first was getting out, they're like, look at you like you're bad news, blah, 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 without even knowing what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that when I was in school, 2012, I was in 6th grade, and the DARE officer would, almost intimidate us with the convicted felon phrase of like, if you're a convicted felon, you won't be able to get a job, you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that, or vote, or whatever.
And basically, that's how they looked at me. So I'm like, oh my gosh. When I first got out, I was at a halfway house in Salt Lake City for like 6 months before I got here in Idaho Falls, and I was working over there at a 7-Eleven. So that's how, as soon as I got in the halfway house, I got like a job within the second day.
Yeah.
I was out. I was, looking for work, and I served good time. I only ended up staying in Utah for like 2 months, and I came back to Idaho Falls, and then I started looking for work. This convenience store gave me a job. Like within 3 days that I got here, I right away started looking for work. And then I told my dad, I need another job. He didn't really want to give me a chance. He was more for the boys. Okay. Yeah. And he's like
old school,
old school Mexican tradition. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I got a job. And then he said he was building a new store that he would like me to come. I go, now you want me, like, okay.
Yeah.
So I started working for him. He was getting that store in Northgate Mile. And that's when,
Okay.
remember when
Yeah.
so I went and took over the one on Elva Street.
Because he had this one down here, or not this one. Elva is over by downtown, huh?
Downtown by the ballpark.
Wasn't it Reina's back then?
It was called La Reina. And that's why they changed it to Garcia's Meat Market, because the feds made him take that name off.
Oh.
So
okay.
La Reina was the original name, but they made him they took his business, so he had to re-buy his business back. And then he had to change the name. And that's why when I opened my new meat market last year, I brought my name back. Siempre La Reina.
Ah, okay.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I
so
see what you... Okay,
okay,
that's
so
nice.
I'm like, Maria and my dad's wife, couldn't take that name. So I called for it again, and I sent my paperwork, and they approved it.
Wow.
So I got my name Siempre La Reina back, and that's what that means because of that first one. They're like, okay, we can't have it. Well, I got it back. So
damn, that's
yeah,
badass.
yeah.
Holy
So
smokes.
when I opened my new store, I was like, what should I call it? And that's what I called it, Siempre La Reina. So.
Wow. So you go into working with your dad, and then
he's like, oh, I can only give you this much. I'm like, gosh, I can't live off this, So I started doing the fruit on his own in that business inside his meat market, and I got more customers on my stuff than his stuff. One day he walked in. It was funny because check this out. He's like I got to do a side hustle. I'm like, I'm not making enough with you, so will you let me do tostilocos and all this other stuff and shaved ice, and so I can make extra money? And he's like, yeah. Well, it didn't go too well because I started getting more people for me than for his. And he came one day, he was all excited because I had a line of people. He's like, oh man, yeah, I'm doing good. And he walked in, well, it was nothing for him. It was all for me. It was like my tosti locals because nobody had it here at first.
Yeah, that's how you got your boom, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, it was Easy from Tropical Paradise that sold me he's the one that really started it. But I talked to him, hey, let's do something, or can you give me heads up? He goes, this is what I'm doing. And he sold me one of his trailers, and which I bought it.
Right.
Yes, I bought it from him.
Okay.
And I don't know what he did, but I kept going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
But he's actually one of the first he started. And then I said, oh, what are you going to do? And he goes, I'll sell you my trailer because I'm going to get a big one. I was like, oh, yeah, I want to get this going,
Which was a small Pelona's Oasis one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I called it Pelona Shack because I did start off a shack off my dad's building on the side. I don't know if you ever seen a little shack there.
No, but I was there not so long ago, about a week ago. We were there close to the old store, and now it's an apartment. It's apartments. I was like,
it's apartments. He made it into apartments.
Your dad?
My dad,
Oh, okay.
But my dad passed 2 years ago from COVID, and the 29th was 2 years already have passed. And so I called it Pelona Shack before I called it Pelona's Fruit Oasis. So when I did that and I moved, and I told my brother, hey, because I never did the food part, I only did the fruit.
Right.
And I go, brother, let's get together and do something. He goes, a lot of people have ate already, but if they want a snack while the other person or their partner or their friend's eating, they can have a snack while they're waiting for the other person. I go, let's put it together. And so we would do that on Fridays and Saturday nights in front of my dad's store on the side at night till midnight or 1.
Wow.
And I'm like, you do this and I'll do the fruit. And it was a good, combination of both. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, let's get a parking lot. We need to get a parking lot where we can park. And so I talked to the people at the laundromat, hey, will you guys give me a chance and let me park here? And they're like, yeah. And so can you rent me one side to keep storage and all that? I started putting little tables so you could go inside and eat a snack or whatever and doing that. Well, when I went out, I was scared because I was like, gosh, am I going to make it or am I not going to make it? You get scared. Even my cook that's been with us for 20 years, she was with my dad for 10 years and she followed me.
Before you? Wow.
And then she came with me, so she's been with me for another 10. So she's been there 20 years with us.
Wow.
That's the one I gave a truck to.
Which I heard about, and I want to talk to you about that in a bit, but I want to ask you this because this is interesting. Okay, so you get convicted, right? You come out.
Yeah.
or not convicted. You get,
Well, I got convicted.
Yeah.
I'm a felon, so I'm a felon. So
you
like,
can't go back on that, huh? You can't undo it. Wow.
undo it. No, federal is really hard to beat, even if you were not doing anything.
Yeah.
There, you can never beat the federal system. That's what I tell people. If you're gonna try to beat it, you can't. Even my dad fought because my dad went down too.
Oh,
and the reason why he went down is because my brother would come in and out of his place on Elba. He was doing money laundry.
Gotcha.
Which he had nothing to do with it. Also, none of us had nothing to do with it, but the federal system does not want to lose, so they
convict everyone.
Even
the little, auntie on the side that just comes in.
So my dad tried to fight it. He put lots of money into it and still had to buy his business back. And he had a lot of money in the safe, which they didn't put on the paperwork. They just took it.
Oh, wow.
And it's a lot of things they did. And we're like, you can't win. I go, Dad, you wasted all this money for nothing. And then they ended up charging him for some taxes from 10 or 15 years back. Yeah, but it wasn't even big. Like, they just did not want to lose.
Man, the feds are something else.
Yeah, like, it's like crazy. And so it's like, it is what it is. So he did time too for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
We all did time. So it's like
insane how
that's crazy.
And you know what's the craziest part about that is that I heard about that, and because I was a little kid, but I would just hear the quote unquote rumors around town, because we live in a small town, everything goes around, and I was like, man, but because he would be at the store when I would hear the rumors, and I'm like, well, wouldn't he be still in jail? Like, if someone who's really trafficking or whatever, or not trafficking, the rumors I heard. There's that there was drug trafficking. Yeah. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is.
My brother was, but it wasn't nothing to do with me, my dad, or my other brother, but just because he was with us and he was always with us and they were following him, they thought he was doing something with us.
Yeah.
Or they were tracking his phone and all this, but he's our brother. Of course we're going to be around him.
Of course, yeah.
But we had nothing to do with it.
And I'm sure he had no ill intent towards you guys at all.
No, and if it was that way, he would have never came around to hurt us. You know what I mean? Because he's the one that did time. He's the one that did over 10 years. You know what I mean? So he was in there for a while. Yeah.
So that's the rumors I heard, right? And I was like, man, if that's true, he would be in jail for a long time, you know? Because, I mean, it
my
makes no
dad
sense.
did 4. I did about 5, close to 5. Well, actually, my dad did about 5, and we did about 5. And then my other brother about 10 months. And so he came out and helped my dad's wife, which is Maria, and helped her run the business until my dad got out. So so that's how it all started. We all started getting out. Me and my dad got out in 2009 or 2010.
Around the same time, huh?
Yes, and that's when he wanted to open the other store.
See, and that's what I wanted to get to is, like, where does that entrepreneurial mindset come from within your family? I mean, your dad opens a store.
Okay, because they're like, okay, you guys are going to think you're bringing me down. No, I'm going to come out stronger. My dad's that way. And I think that's where I got my mindset. You tell me I can't do it, watch me.
Right.
And so, like me, they looked at me as some bad guy. Like, wow, this girl's bad news, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, you guys don't want to give me the chance. Look what I'm going to do.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do.
Have you always been entrepreneurial?
Huh?
Have you always been entrepreneurial? Have you always, like, been interested in starting your own business and things like that? That's something
I've always had that mindset. Like, I've always been, anywhere I went, I always ended up, like, within 2 months being the boss of everybody.
Oh,
wow. Holy damn.
Yeah, like, even convenience stores, because I used to run a lot of convenience stores and doing, like, Chevron and Amico. And I've always, like, they're like, God, this girl's, I've even made up cash registers, put the system in, the POS system. And I had I've done this all my life. So retail, and I'm like, wow. And they're like, okay, you're good at what you do. Let's make you the manager. Within 2 months, everywhere I went, I was always the manager.
Dude. So where does that come from, you think? I mean, now that you look back at your, at your work and everything, where do you think that comes from? Was that something that you saw, like, from a grandparent?
No, I was always into numbers. Like, I'm so, like, numbers was always a thing for me. Like, it was just crazy. I was always A+ in math. I was always that was just crazy.
You just had the tick, huh?
Yeah, the tick of math, or like, this girl's like, wow, like, I don't know. It was, even my dad goes, gosh, she's good at math. This girl's good at numbers. You'd tell me something, oh, it's this much. Or like, he's trying to pull out his calculator and all this. Like, she knows, like, I've always done retail. So I guess that's what I honestly, I always wanted to be an accountant.
Okay, so that's where it comes
So
from.
probably that's where it comes from.
Yeah, because
so,
some people numbers come to them easily. Some others struggle with numbers a ton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it just depends on the person. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's
I think
interesting.
I always, since I was little, I always wanted to be like a bank teller or something like that. It was
Yeah.
something to do with money or
Yeah.
numbers, you know, like, wow. Like, I just always went that way, you know,
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. It didn't come from, I don't think nobody. It was just my own drive. Like, I
Yeah.
was probably the outcast of my family. I was the mouth, you know, like my brother, I don't have sisters, so I was the mouth. I wasn't a bad troublemaker, but I just had a mouth on me. I always had to have the last
Yeah.
word, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I'm gonna, you know,
Yeah.
stick to. So
Did you grow up here or?
I grew up here, born and raised. I mean, my parents always took me to Mexico every year after we got out of school. We lived in Mexico for 3 or 4 months every year.
Wow.
For
I'm
about
sure that
12
taught
years.
you something on the basis of, you know,
Mexican. Yeah,
economic.
my grandma was really like, she was a good cook.
Yeah.
My grandma was a good cook. So that's where I think I got that. And my dad was a chef from, like, you could have
Wow.
put 3 recipes right here. I mean,
Yeah.
3 seasonings, and he'd make you a whole gourmet lunch. My dad
Wow.
Damn.
he was so good. He could
Yeah.
make you ramen noodles into a food that you would say, wow, this is what it is. You know, like my
Damn.
dad it wasn't my mom or Maria that knew the cooking. It was my dad. He was the chef of it all. He was the master
Makes
of
sense.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the one thing I loved about the restaurant, the one that on
On
what's
Elba,
the other one, the one that you have right now.
on Hit Road.
No, what's the one over by
The one
Bagel
on-
Tire?
Oh, Garcia's Meat Market.
Yeah, Garcia. Okay, so the restaurant there, the one thing I loved about them, there are two things. They're not chicken tacos. They're shrimp tacos.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Oh man,
Yeah.
my mouth just watered.
Yeah.
And then the
We do
Coco
those.
Campechana.
Yeah, we do those.
Oh,
now at
you do
my-
those?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go
Yeah.
then. The Coco Campechanas,
Yeah.
the one place that had really good mariscos before Garcia's Meat Market was El Sinaloense. I don't know if you remember.
Well,
that.
yeah, he was my dad's best friend.
Oh, okay.
Signs. Well, the guy that actually taught him, the guy used to work for that guy. He was from Sinaloa.
Yeah.
His name was Luna, and he's the one that
Okay.
brought us my dad paid for the recipe for that. So
Bought the recipe
yeah,
for it?
bought the recipe for it.
Nice.
And not to bring this up, but when my dad passed, he was getting ready to tell me the recipe for the shrimp cocktails and all
Yeah.
that. Well, he didn't get to it.
Okay.
And it wasn't giving it to me. They didn't want to give it to me. So I was like,
Wow.
okay, that's fine. And
Yeah.
then, so I called the guy that taught my dad. And I'm
Ah.
like, he was in Arizona at the time. I called him and I'm like, hey, I know you gave my dad this recipe. I'll pay you what he paid you for it. Just come down and show me one day. And he did.
Wow.
One Sunday, he stayed there with me for like 8 or 10 hours and he showed me every detail. And
Awesome.
I paid him what my dad paid him. And now they're
Oh, I'm gonna have to go try them.
yeah.
Because that's oh my
and I
gosh.
mastered it because
Yeah.
nobody knows this. They took one seasoning out of what we put into it, and I mastered it. And I remember my dad telling me they took one seasoning off this one thing. If you can master it and call him and do it, then you have it made. And I remember him telling me this before he passed. He goes, see if you can tell me what they took out of this seasoning, and I found out what it was, and I
That's
got
beautiful.
it back. I got
That's
it back.
beautiful that you were able to give him that last memory. You know,
Yeah.
rest in peace to your dad because he was such I think he was a big figure here because
Yeah.
of his stores. You know, his stores was always remembered.
Successful. Oh, he's the one that brought the first taco truck in the 80s. He was the
Wow.
first. If you really go back, the Tope, I don't know if you guys ever knew Tope's
No.
truck. Well, he's the one that sold that taco truck to that guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so my dad brought the first taco trucks. He brought Tope to work with him, and he goes, you know what, I'm going to buy my own building. You want to buy this taco truck? And sold it to him. He kept going. And then Morenitas, he sold that building to them.
What? Really?
You know, Fresh Produce, the one that they
Yeah.
closed down, that was my dad's. He sold it to Ruben.
Wow.
So, and then the meat market next to the midget market, that was my dad's. He sold it to that person.
Damn.
What the fuck?
Damn, your dad has a
Oh
whole bunch
wow!
of.
So any first thing that my dad brought, like any tortillera, meat market, anything, my dad was the first. If you go back to his
Yeah.
legacy, he was the one that
What a
brought
legacy, man.
Yeah, he brought it
Wow.
all first. So he's
Man.
well known because a lot of farmers would come to him, and you know when they're first here, they don't have a paycheck because they'd come and go from Mexico. He's
Yeah.
like, my dad would always help him out. He was a good guy. Like, everybody thought he was an ass in this. He was just business wise. I mean, if you really knew the guy, he had a soft heart, but a lot of people took him a different way. But you just really knew he picked up a lot of businesses, and he gave him, a lot of things to look at to get their business. He loved to help people get their business started. He was never one of those like, oh God, they're gonna. And that's what he taught me. Like, don't ever be a hater, or don't ever try to put another business to make you look better. If you got it, you got it, and you know what you got. You don't have to be. You don't have to be scared. And that's why when I do my page, I promote a lot of local businesses. And they're like, why do you do that if it's the same food as yours? Because everybody has their own touch. No, I mean, I'm not going to be there and be saying, oh my gosh, look at these people, or look at that. What does that make you look like? It's not going to get you anywhere. If I could feed the whole Idaho Falls, I'd never leave. You know what I mean? There's so many people out there for everybody. It's not.
It's only growing.
It's only growing. I can't be taking care of all Idaho Falls. And like I tell you, everybody has their own seasoning. Nobody's going to be the same. They're going to go what they want to go. I can't make you come to mine, or mine's better, or this, because everybody has their own touch.
Yeah, that's amazing. Holy smokes. I did not know that about your dad.
My dad, he started the first tortillera, the first bread store, the first everything.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's insane. So then you start with this shack, and then you moved into buying this trailer. Where does that go from?
So me and my brother went together.
Because I lost track of you from that point until then. Recently, I think ever since I got with her, which was a year ago now, she's like, let's go to Pelona's. Actually, no, I went with a friend. He's the one who introduced me to your, what are they called, your tacos that are like...
La birria?
Yeah, your birria tacos. And I was like, what are those? And he's like, they're really good. You have to go try it. And we went. And so that's when I first knew that you had the place where...
It's on Hit Road?
Yeah, no, over at the same plaza you have it right now, but a different location.
Oh, it was where I was Marias's.
Exactly, yeah.
So when I went to 2014 to do my own thing at the laundromat, I just kept growing and growing. And my dad went and took my brother back because we were a team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, my dad needs you. You need to go back. So I basically took his business and kind of bought him out, like me.
Yeah.
So he went back with my dad because my dad needed the help. So I had to buy his business and mine. Mine was just Pelona's Fruit Oasis. And the reason why I named it Pelona's Fruit Oasis, because it used to be Pelona Shack. People are going to say, what is the shack? So I was like, I have to make it more professional so people know what it is.
More marketable.
Yeah, so I put Pelona's Fruit Oasis. And they're like, oh, okay. So when my brother went back to my dad within the year, I started growing and growing and growing and growing. I'm like, oh my gosh, we can't do it. Because you only have like a little comal like this big, and you're doing 100 tacos, 50,
Holy
and you can't do
smokes.
that much. And that's why it takes so long in a truck.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that because we're doing it as we go. It's not pre-made.
Right.
And I'm like, it's going to take about 40 minutes. But they didn't understand why. I'm like, we only have a grill this big, and we can only do so much.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, I got to do something else. And this guy came up to me, he goes, hey, your food is awesome. You need to go on the other side of town. And I was scared because I didn't want the overhead. I was like, geez, I'm going to have a be overhead.
How much are we looking, like money-wise, estimate? You don't have to give me exact numbers.
Like, I was
estimate.
looking at $1,000, like $1,000, $1,500, like.
Monthly rent.
Monthly, I was like, I was really scared. And so he introduced me that he goes, well, let's work out a deal. Maybe you can work out with the landlord. And he introduced me, which I knew the Skidmores, and I'm like, okay. Well, they introduced me. I looked at the place. I fell in love with it, where I was Maria's. I'm like, okay, this is reasonable. It's cute. It's good enough, big enough. And I talked to the Skidmores, and I go, this is what I want, and this is can you do this for me? But I don't want to sign a lease.
This is what I can do?
I do not want to sign a lease because I don't want to fall back. Like, I don't want to be stuck somewhere and get, like lose everything I've worked so hard for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. I want to go up higher. They're like, okay, we won't make you sign a lease. You stay here for a year, and if you like it, then you can sign a lease. Wow. I go, give me a year. Nobody does that.
Yeah, and the Skidmores have been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm like
60 years, I think.
Yeah, it's usually 5 to 6 years, and I'm like, I don't want to sign these. Like I said, just give me a chance because I'm not a franchise. I'm a local owner. I mean, franchise have backup, and I don't have backup. The only backup is me and my employee. You know what I mean? So I moved there 2000, I want to say 19, 2019.
Yeah, I think that's around the right time.
2014 from 2019, did the truck for 5 years. Day and night, guys. You got to understand, year round. I didn't stop even in the winter.
Yeah. How much approximately were you making throughout those from 2014, 2015, 2016? I mean,
Can I show you something that's
Yeah.
crazy on my phone?
yeah, you can show me.
Okay. This is what's crazy about it.
I think people think of restaurants as one of those things. Like I talked to a guy the other day about a restaurant thing business that I've been talking to some people about, and he's like, that's a really tough business to go into.
And I tell people that. They're like, what advice can you give me to start a business, a restaurant? You have to marry your business. And they look at me like, what do you mean you have to marry your business? Your business comes first before anything. Like when I got with my partner, my wife, of happily 10 years.
Shout out.
Yeah, 10 years.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
When we first started, this is when I went on my own. When we first started dating, and I told her, I'm going to tell you one thing, and you can stay or you can go or you can back me up. I'm like, I want to start my own business. I'm starting my own business, but I'm not going to have time for you.
Yeah.
If you can be without me, then this is the place to be because I'm going to go far. But if you can't be without me and you need that
A connection
or always you need that attention, then this isn't for you. I'm letting you go right now because I'm going to dedicate myself to my business. That comes first before anything right now. And I'm going to marry my business before I marry you.
Yeah.
And so she had faith and she believed in me, and this is where I'm at, and we're happily married.
But look at that, Pelona. I think that's such an important
because you have to,
nugget.
you have to have that backup plan, and she's my backup plan. She might not be front door or my door, but she's the one that has me in the back doors, to live. If you don't have that partner that backs you up in every way, and you have that connection with that person, and the loyalty and the faithfulness where you don't have to, because if you can't be in a business and then worry about your partner,
Right.
what is she doing, or is she cheating on me, or she's doing this, then you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, because you're going to take, the tension is going to go somewhere else. And you know what's funny? And I think that's a super important advice that you give there, because I told her when we got married, I was like, listen, I'm a person who's very entrepreneurial. I'm not the average guy per se who's going to go to work 8 hours, come home, get on the couch, watch TV, and that's it.
Because I work after hours.
Exactly. Because I'm like, I'm going to work afterwards. I don't know what I'm going to be doing just yet, but I'm going to be doing something all the time. And that's just the way it is.
And I said, if you need that attention, then I'm not the one. And I told her straight out, I want to be fair to you because you're good people, but if you have my back, you're more than welcome to go on my journey because this is what I'm going to do. And she's the one that told me, I have faith in you. You're going to make it. You're going to go far.
That's
and
awesome.
She was my backup for everything. Because the first years I went on my own, guys. I'm not, believe it or not, I didn't pay one penny of a bill. She goes, put all your money that you make into your business. I got you. She goes, I'm going to pay the mortgage. I'm going to pay this. Put all your money back.
And she held it down.
She had it down.
Wow.
She goes, I don't want you to worry on this side. I want you to proceed your dreams and go for it. And I know you'll take care of me later. And when I got where I wanted, I bought her a brand new 2024 Chevy Blazer
Holy
with a
shit.
cash.
Look at her now.
Yeah, I was like, here you go. And she's like, what is, and she cried. I mean, I told her, I go,
That's
is
10
why.
years of hard work, man.
So.
That's awesome.
But this is how I started. I was telling one of my friends, I'm like, believe it or not, this is how I started, and I'm like.
Because realistically, I think the restaurant business is a business that can be grown with good marketing.
Okay. So this is what's crazy.
I can barely see you have that privacy screen thing on.
2016. Okay. That was my yearly sales.
That's what. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So 2017.
Holy shit.
Okay.
From one year to another.
Yes. Okay.
Holy fuck.
2019.
Damn, dude.
Okay. 2020.
Holy shit. Looking at these numbers, it's crazy because it's 1 year by 1 year. Holy smokes. All I'm going to say is she's got that dough.
And it's not all me because you still got to pay everything. That's just
Right.
revenue, okay?
That's just
So
gross. Not,
so you're looking at, you're
not
like,
net.
when I moved to 2019 to that building where I was Maria's is, I'm like, gosh.
I can see why you're stressing now.
Okay.
Why you were stressing in 2019 because that what you made.
And then that's when COVID hit.
Yeah.
COVID hit that day. I was barely in there 2 months, and I'm like, oh gosh, how am I gonna make it? Well, that was my biggest year. That's what made it. And I'm like, I'm gonna bring out this new taco that my grandma taught me a long time ago. In April, I brought it. 2019 is when I brought the birria taco out.
Okay.
I go, this taco. I told my right hand cook, I'm like, this taco's gonna make me famous, and she kind of giggled. Yeah, whatever. I go, I'm serious. This taco's gonna make me famous. Here's my grandma's recipe that I can remember. Let's master it. Let's put it together. Let's do this. And we did like 5 pounds 1 week. Following week, we did 10 pounds. This third week, we did 20 pounds. Now we're doing over 200 pounds a day.
Damn.
Because I sell a lot of not just birria tacos. I sell birria pizza, birria ramen. I mean, birria flautas, birria everything.
todo.
Oh yeah. So like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I've won 6 rewards for that taco.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Like, and they're like, I tell my cook, told you it'd make me famous, and she just
Yeah.
laughs, you know.
You know what's beautiful though, from like listening to the story is that you started literally from a shack.
A shack.
You know, so, and just to make ends meet.
And what's crazy, you guys, I would not buy anything new. I bought everything used. I paid cash on hand. As I went, I never got business loans.
Yeah. Wow.
I've never gotten any. As I went, I kept paying stuff what I could afford.
Yeah.
In 2019, so I went to that place where I was Maria's is, and I only lasted there 10 months because I grew that fast.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
was
like,
gonna say you weren't there too long.
10 months,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm losing these big families because I kept seeing, they'd seen it full in there and they'd walk away, and I'm like, gosh, I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Because I want those bigger families. I want those people to come in, and I'd lose those families. So I went to a bigger spot. Kitchen Burrito had just went out of business, or they've been closed, and my landlords offered me this bigger spot, and I go, okay, this is what I can afford. Like I told you again,
Yeah.
I'll sign a 5-year contract, but can you please work with me? I'm not going to pay what Kitchen Burrito paid because that's a lot of money. You got to understand their franchise. They paid like $8,000
Jesus,
a month.
man.
I was like, I can't do that, you guys. You guys got to work with me. So they work with me, and every year it goes up, but I will never pay $8,000. I'll tell you that. So they
Yeah.
work with me, and they're good people.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I was scared to even move to that place. I'm like, am I going to make it? Well, I doubled what I was
Oh.
losing in that within that year too. I doubled.
That is true. Your numbers prove that too.
Yeah. So I've doubled, and I'm like, wow, I made it. And they said after 5 years that you've been on your own in your own business, you've made it. They said
Yeah.
it takes about 5 years to get your clientele.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 to 5 years that will determine whether the business makes it or not, right?
Yeah.
And the first, I think, 2 years are the roughest.
Yes, and it's like, because you don't make money. And still, sometimes, you know, I was making all this money, but then I opened the meat market. And so I
Right.
put all my business into that now. You know, like, I put all my money that I made to make this happen. And what's crazy, within a year, we've doubled already.
Wow. But you know what? You know what's so good about that? I think that's why I think it doubled because you already had the name. You know, like you already had
Siempre la
Pelona.
reina.
Yeah.
And then people, oh, they're going to make because of my dad. Yeah, we're going to make it because it's his legacy, but we were born and raised in this. We know what we're doing. My brother's been a meat market for 25 years. He helped my dad make that
Yeah.
business too. Not
You guys know that business like it's butter.
like
you know?
yeah, it's not. It's, I mean, we've known it. My brother even knows it more because he was by my dad from all these 25 years, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know
And
what?
he is the one who's there, huh?
Yeah,
We've
he's
been
the
in a
one.
couple
He's the one
times.
that does the meat market. He's the
Yeah.
one that cuts everything for me and does everything to make my restaurant go. You know,
Wow.
so we're a good team. I mean, he knows it all more than the meat part. He knows it all too.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? Let's just open our own because you know, things happened with my dad's passing. Things changed, and we're like, you know what?
course.
Don't worry about it. I got you. I got money put away. I'll put that money into there, and you just pay me back what I put into it, and it's yours. You know, just
Yeah.
give me what I put into it. I don't want to lose. I don't want interest. I don't want nothing. Just pay me for what I paid for, and it's yours. So
Wow.
when he's ready to buy me out, and then
Yeah.
just pay me what.
So right now, so you opened your restaurant that you have now, and then
The meat market.
the meat market. Where does it go from here?
I'm trying. I have
Or do you
I have
wanna
other
say-
things up my sleeve, and I don't want somebody to take my.
Okay, so let's talk about this then. Your
Okay.
nightclub.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from?
Where did it come from? Okay. Remember when I told you I blew up so much?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't know what to do with all this money. They thought I made it off, but I was paying my workers, cash, trying to help them out,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Well, I got screwed because
Yeah.
of taxes.
The
So
feds
they're
come
like,
in and they're like, hey,
"Yeah,
dude,
hey.
you're not
So
paying taxes
when
over here.
My accountant, I had to get an accountant because my place, I didn't know what to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was coming with like, holy shit, where's all this money coming from? Like, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. I got to get an accountant. I need to do things right. I don't want to mess up what I got going.
Yep.
So I had to get an accountant. It took about a year to get all my paperwork straightened out and
Wow.
everything. So we went back 2 years for taxes, and I'm trying to help my people, but
Yeah.
I got screwed at the end. But that's fine,
Yeah.
Things happen, But they thought I had all this money, which I didn't, so I had to pay back taxes. So I'm like, that's fine, Finally got it under control. I'm good status with the state and everything, and now I know what I have to do to make it right. Compared
Yeah.
to paying $87,000 in federal taxes,
hell no.
$45,000 sales in taxes because they think I have all this money, and really I didn't because I was paying cash to my employees.
So how did they find out that you're paying cash? Was it
Because I told you
okay.
he goes, oh, that's fine if you do. You just have to have them do a W-9.
Okay.
They have to work for themselves, because they come and go with a
Yeah.
visa.
So does a I don't know if you know taxes
Mm-hmm.
that much, but does a W-9 require them to have their own insurance if they get hurt?
Yes,
at work?
yes, but I
Okay.
have either or. So
Okay, cool.
I'm good with my
Yeah.
Like I try to be every way possible I can do.
Yeah, I asked because I was working with a guy once who was like a texture whatever guy, and he's like, you should do a W-9 or a W-10, one of those.
W-9, I think it is. When you
yeah.
work for yourself and
Yeah,
you don't have a set schedule, but you work what you can, and you don't have to worry about their taxes.
yeah. So he's like, you should do that, and then I'll pay you a little bit more hourly. And I thought about it, and I was like, wait, but that doesn't make sense because I have to pay insurance for myself. If I get hurt, I'm the one screwed, and you're only paying me. If you were paying me square foot or something like that, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's take a break from chatting your ear off. Now, let me talk to you guys for a bit. If you guys are in the home and garden industry, in the sense of owning a business like lawn care service, or I don't know, roofing, or I don't know, tile and whatnot, reach out to me, guys. I partner with a company that's bringing a home and garden show to the East Idaho area next year, and we have vendor booths available. So reach out to me at brandonhnjshow@gmail.com. I'll put the link and everything up on the screen so you guys can reach out to me if you guys are interested in showcasing your business, your whatever you bring to the table, really. If you are in the home and garden industry, you guys have the opportunity to showcase that in front of thousands of people that we will be having at this event next year. So if you are local and have a business and want to have the opportunity to show it in front of thousands of people and showcase what you guys bring to the table within the home and garden industry, please reach out to me at brandonhnjshow@gmail.com. What's up, guys? Let's take a break from blasting your ear off. Now that I mentioned blasting your ear off, go check out Diamond Audio Engineering with our boy Leo. If you want customized beats, mixes, or audio in general, go check him out at diamondcut@gmail.com. That's his email. Or check him out on Instagram, FlaccoTVCKO. I'll spell that out for you guys. But yeah, go check him out if you need something for your podcast, music, or any type of audio engineering at Diamond Audio Engineering. Use code OAP for 15% off.
So, I did it for my people. Like, I try to help them
Yeah.
out. But, at the same time, I told them this year, I've helped you guys a lot, and you guys got to help me out now, too. You know what I mean? You guys got to understand I'm paying all these taxes, which I can't afford all the time. But help me out because they come and go on a visa.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, you guys, let's do a W-9. So that's to help
But
me
even
out.
I can do a W-9 because I was going to do a W-9 because and now it makes more sense, being paid, square foot is way better than being paid hourly. You make a little bit more and you have your own schedule, which is nice. But taxes are...
And they're paying,
Yeah.
but it helped me out in the long run because compare 87,000 to 12,000 now.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money, and so it helped me out.
I mean, if you go to California, that's like 50,000.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow. And then, but I thought I was, and I'm a very humble, and I'm very good to my employees. That's why they, like, people go, do you have a hard time looking for employees? No. They're like, why? Well, you got to treat them the way that you want them to treat you and to take care of your place, and you got to be good to them. It's not always, oh, I'm making all this, it's all for me. You know what I mean? If you guys make me money, more for you, more for this. And I think if you take care of them, they take care of you.
Yeah, and I think that, it's interesting because I don't think a lot of business owners understand that. Because I think a lot of them think of I'm paying you for what you're doing,
No, because I've been to the bottom, guy. I've lived in a fucking car. So I know.
Sometimes it's very transactional between a boss and an employee.
Yeah.
And I think there should be some type of relationship there where.
And you do, but when you lay the law down, they got to understand, okay,
exactly.
I'm laying down the law. This is how it is. Mm-hmm. I'm your friend first, but also your boss. You got to respect.
And that's the employee's. The employee has to see that point too, because I've seen
At first, I would struggle with a couple, and then they finally was like, hey, listen here. I know we bump heads in other ways, but I'm your friend, but I'm also your boss, but you got to respect me, and that respect line, But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Mm-hmm. If you're down with me, you're going to go far with me. I'm not just going to keep you to the bottom. You're going to do something with your life. And
are you telling me literally? Or
no.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, you're going to do something. No,
this fucking guy.
I'm like, you're telling me literally? Like, I'm like, oh man.
You're going to do something with your life. You know what I mean? I'm not going to leave you to the bottom. I go, you'll go far with me if you, I'm not just going to let you be down here. I go, I promise you'll get far with me if you just,
if we work together, essentially.
If we work together, you know.
Because I've seen both sides, where the boss takes advantage of the workers and then the workers take advantage of the boss because the boss is too losing
I think
hand.
I'm more.
And I'm like, man.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not a dummy, but they think I'm a dummy, but I'm not. I know I'm nice. I'm good people, and I'm hard to work for because I'm very anal with my stuff. I'm very strict with my stuff, and once you get it down, I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Because it's my name. I tell them, this is my name. This is my life. Yeah. And I worked hard for it, and you're going to come and ruin it. This is the way I want it. This is what I want, and this is what I expect. Yep. I'm very picky, and as long as you get it down the way I mean, there's been fights, so it's not always been pretty, this is how I want it done. If you can't do that, then this ain't for you, because you're not going to come and do it your way. You're going to do it my way.
And that's how it has to be, I think with any business you start, whether it's restaurant business or any type of sell or service or whatever, is you have to be a person who's like, hey, especially if it's your own brand, if it's your own brand, it's like, dude, you have to understand.
And that's another thing. That's why I kind of want to change the name to Pelona's Tacos, because there's so many Garcias out there. It's not that I'm not proud of my last name. It's my dad's place is Garcia's Meat Market and Cocina. And when they call, they get it confused. And then and then there's a Garcia's on 17th Street, okay? And so they're like, oh, is this So when they call me and I say Garcia Street Taco, even though I'm Street Taco, they still get it confused. And they're like, is this Pelona's? So that's why I'm like, okay, I got to do some. And then how I opened Garcia's Carniceria Siempre La Reina. Is this the Garcia's Meat Market? Yeah. And it's getting just too much confusion. Yeah.
Too much Garcia.
Too much Garcia. And I'm like, and anyways, I think I built my own restaurant because I didn't have any, even though my dad was behind all this and started all this, I built what I have now.
Because I don't think they go like... I don't think people think of Pelona's as your dad's business. I think they think of it as your business because
I went to the ends meet to make what I am right now. I never got financial help. Mm-hmm. I did this I didn't ask for financial help. Yep. I did this all on my own, literally on my own.
And everyone knows who you are, dude. It's insane.
Yeah,
I don't know how you know everyone or how people know you.
I didn't get business loans. I didn't get no bank loans. I did this on my own, with my other cook, she's the one that had my back to the fullest. We've been through thickest. My cook for 20 years, the one that's been with us for 20 years, is the one that helped me get to where I'm at. If it wasn't for her, because when I first started and we went on our own, this is what she told me: who's gonna do this? We're gonna go on our own, and you don't have to pay me until you got it right.
Wow.
Who's gonna work for free?
Yeah,
no one. No
That's
one.
a keeper right there.
Yes, I'm like, why do you think I gave her a truck?
Yeah.
because she helped me to the lowest. But it was funny because when we first went on our own, we had a line of people our first day. And then by the end of the week, because I'd pay my employees on Sunday, I'm like, well, you told me not to pay you. You said you were going to work. She goes, yeah, if we didn't have anybody. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I was like, come here. So, but she goes, no, that's if we didn't have anybody. But thank God, we had that.
Yeah.
No, you can tell that she's very thankful because I know her.
Uh-huh. She's hard. She's old school. Like most people don't understand. And they always have a hard time when they first start. I was like, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. You guys, she's my right hand. I go, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. You guys don't know the backstory, so I have a lot of respect for her. I go, because she's the one that's been there for me every way and every time for me. She's been there through thick and thin, to my poorest, to my highest. I mean, we've went a long ways, and she's always had my back. That lady is a loyal friend to the fullest, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So, and when people have a hard time, you guys got to understand, do it for me. I know she might be wrong sometimes, but do it for me because she means well. She's just old school. She don't expect you to be sitting around. If you're here to work, you're here to work. That's why she's paying for you. You're the boss. You're doing this. I'm more lenient. I've had to deal with youngers, olders, and people, so I got to learn everybody's personality.
Yeah.
And I got to work with different people, and I got to learn how to teach. I go, it's not the same generation. Angelina's her name. And I was like, you can't, you just got to understand it's a different generation. It's not like how me and you are. So we got to work with that. And I think that's the hardest thing she goes, I told you I never wanted to go. I go, I know, Angelina, you didn't want to go big, but this is what I have to do to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go, I can't, you're going back home. I got to still live here for the rest of my life. I got to go big or go home, so she's the one that's helped me with everything, anything possible. She's the only one that's ever helped me with financial stuff when I first started too.
Wow.
And she's my worker.
Yeah. I mean,
You see what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like, that's why I appreciate everything she did, and that's why I gave her that truck.
Wow.
And she's like, what? And so she didn't have but that's showing my appreciation to her. So
how did the nightclub?
Okay,
yeah. I was like,
okay, see, we get big. Well,
it's all good.
Taxes.
You're like, I need to start another business.
Taxes.
Taxes.
I'm like, oh God, how many? So I started doing that for extra money to pay my taxes off. So
you have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
How much?
No, depends. It's more the beer sales, honey, that makes you the money. It's the beer sales. I mean, it's not more the entrance, because sometimes I don't even charge to get in. Yeah. It's the beer sales. I'm making $3 or $4 grand a night.
Holy shit.
Off beer. So I'm like, okay. And sometimes,
So is that the return of that pretty good? I mean, I don't know how much it costs. If you're selling $4,000 of beer a night, how much are you putting in? Not too much. Can I guess?
Yeah.
And then you can give me whether I'm to off or not. 1,500? Lower?
Wow.
7 around there. Damn. Oh, I know why. I won't say because I'm sure you know why, but yeah, and it's one bottle or not one. It's one can every time, so it's
But I sell them cheaper than anybody else. Like
I've been to some bars.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, like you go to a bucket, you're paying $30 for a bucket, and you only give 5 beers. I sell my bucket with 6 beers for $25.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it.
So
that's a good deal.
I don't have my liquor license, but I have my beer and wine, so I can sell up to 15%. So this is what's tricky. I start doing my brain's going, and I'm like, oh God, what do I got to do? Now, I just don't want to sell beer. I want to sell mixed drinks, but I don't have my liquor license.
Right.
So I started putting 2 and 2 together, and they're like, God, what can I do? Well, I started realizing, the Crown Royal cans and all that.
Yep.
Jack Daniels are starting to sell them single. Mm-hmm. So I called the state police. I'm like, I have a question for you. I was like, what can I sell and not sell? He goes, anything you can buy at a convenience store or a grocery store, you can sell.
Oh, interesting.
As long as it's not in the liquor store. I was like, okay. So what about if I get one drink that's 10%, another one that's 7%, can I mix them? They're like, oh yeah, as long as it's under 15%. So I can mix these. And they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you can buy it at a grocery store or a convenience store, you can sell it.
Okay.
But a lot of people think because you buy the Jack Daniels bottle, you're getting 40%. Well, beer people are getting smarter where they're breaking it down to cans. You're getting 7%. The same as if you bought a big Jack Daniels bottle and you're pouring yourself a cup, you're only getting 7%.
Right.
So they're getting smarter to not get that liquor license. So
because that liquor license is expensive.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well I can start doing drinks with the cans. I'm like, let's just put 2 and 2 together. Let's start mixing Jack Daniels, whatever they want, the Crown Royal, whatever they want. I can make you drinks with the percentage I have.
Yeah, that's smart. Holy shit. Yeah, because
some brains.
And people are like,
do you want to be like my business advisor or something, dude?
Yeah. So they're like, well, and at first I was like, oh God, they're gonna come in here and say what kind of drinks you're giving, because all those haters have to come in and say, oh gosh, she's selling liquor drinks. No, I'm not. I'm doing what I'm not.
But you know what's crazy is that those people don't know that you got informed before you start selling.
Oh yeah, I get everything informed about my insurance, everything, just because I'm on 10 steps ahead of you, because I know what kind of people are out there.
Because people just think, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, but they're like, they don't never think about the fact that you thought about the fact that they're going to think about that before.
Exactly.
It's, like,
it's just the way I am. Come on, I knew there was going to be undercovers or this, and there has been. I'm like, what kind of drink are you putting in there? Oh, this. Oh, what kind of drink I already know. I'm like, I'm legit. Like, you can't do nothing to me because I'm doing everything.
And you'll prove that because you'll never get caught doing anything that's not legit.
Because I won't.
Exactly.
I won't. I know how the system works. That's why I called the state police and I said, what can I do and what can I not do?
How much is that liquor license going for right now? I heard it's like $2 million.
2 million or something like that. And then in reality, I asked one of the guys that used to sell liquor, and I'm like, is it worth it? And they're like, no. And I go, why? You're maybe sell 200 in tequila sales compared to 1,500 in beer.
Yeah, that return, to buy $2 million liquor license, I don't know if the return in liquor
if you really look at it, you're buying a bottle, $80, $50.
Mm-hmm.
You're only pouring shots, and it's once in a while. It's when they're already wasted and they want to get tore up.
Yeah.
So you're not making your money on that bottle, and you're still not even paying back your liquor license.
$2 million for a liquor license would be hard to pay back on shots.
But like I said, the alcohol people are getting smarter because they're breaking it down where we can start buying it now and making our own. I can make you lemon shot drops. I can do anything.
Can I ask you something? Would you ever start a liquor, like a liquor brand?
Hell yeah.
Would you ever start a tequila brand?
Yeah.
Pelona's Tequila?
Yeah,
really
hell
cool.
yeah.
Now have you had that idea before?
That's her next
Yeah. Well, my next thing is
You don't have to say if you don't feel comfortable.
No, I'm looking into I'm doing a big event center.
Oh shit, dude.
So that's what my next thing is doing. And if anything, I'm going to tell you how it is right now. I'm trying to do. Have you ever been to Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
Okay, the Rancho Markets.
Not the Rancho. I haven't been those.
Okay. Well, they have like the tortillera, the bread, the meat. I'm trying to do a store where it's all in one. Like I'm trying to do a tortillera, panaderia, paneteria. That's where I'm trying to do with if I get my next move is trying to do that all in one.
So you want to buy an event center and
I want to buy like a big Walmart and put everything there and then rent for me, like not just my food, like different spots where they can
Oh, that's
go.
so
like
smart.
the, what's it called?
Los tianguis.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. But inside, so I want to do a meat market, a tortillera, and this, and then little stations.
That's what we need.
Yeah, we need a tianguis
all
down
in one spots.
They all rent a room out there for you for
and
this
then
podcast.
I want to do my and I'm looking. What I'm looking forward to right now is more my event center right now. So I want to build it where at least 5 or 1,000 people can get in. But I want to do a more modern, and then on the other side where I can do my dances. So like if you want to get married, I have this elegant place where you can come, do the kitchen in there, and I can cater to you. If you don't want me to, that's fine. But I want to do it. I don't know if you've been to the Brickyard event.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that, classier on one side.
It's tiny, though.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So I want to do something like that on one side, and then the other where my dances. Because,
So you have to build from the ground up for this, huh?
I know.
Which is a big investment. And listen, we don't have to get into details because I think I know already.
Yeah, but that's where I'm looking for the spot right now. And I do want to do it in the county because Ammon's more stricter.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look by where Costco area is right now,
Okay.
see if I have something out there, because it's still Idaho Falls.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think that's such a great investment, not only within like the return that you're gonna get on your money, but also the community.
Yeah.
Because you know what I think about this community is that it's growing, which is good. It can be bad sometimes, you know. I mean,
But I don't think you can lose in an event center, because there's not
No.
that much out there.
Yeah.
I mean, even honest, the Brickyard for 2 hours, like $2,000.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we
well
tried
we
it.
wanted
Yeah.
to get married there.
yeah,
And
it was
it's
like damn. But if you
insane.
have because this is what I guess I have to talk to. Do you know who is his name? Milo, the one who does the concerts.
I don't know who Milo is.
The one who's the dad who owns the daughter who owns the Calacas.
Oh.
Mito.
Mito.
Yeah.
Milo.
Sorry,
Milo.
sorry, dude. I guess I would have to talk to him and ask him, or if you know anything about this, like why is it hard for big artists to come here? Because if you did the event center, wouldn't you want like
Oh yeah,
artists to
that's
come
what
here?
I want it for. You have to go to like a lot of in Las Vegas. What are those conventions?
Yeah.
I think it's because they come in a package deal. I've been lucky and I've been blessed because I'm getting Compa Chewy this Saturday,
shit.
and that came
That's a
to
good
me. That came to me, you guys.
Wow.
Word of mouth is huge because I bring a lot of artists from Utah.
Yeah.
Check this out. This is why I get blessed, because the guy that came and played at my place, I don't know, he had a dance place in Utah, and he told him about my place, that he came to my place and he really liked it. Well, the guy that got Compa Chewy to go to his place, they got already a package deal. They have to pay like, it's a lot of money. It's not
Yeah.
cheap. It's like $12,000 to $15,000. Sometimes 18, 20,000. But it's a package deal. They bring like 2 or 3 groups.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. So you need a bigger place for that, okay? So
Makes sense.
the guy, Compa Chewy's here, going to be here for 3 days, I guess, in Utah. But he wants to make a little extra money, side hustle. So that's where I get called in. He goes, I'm going to be here a couple days. Can we go somewhere else to make some extra money? Well, they called me and said,
Connections.
hey, can you want to hit him up, and what can you offer this guy? I go, well, I can't offer him 12,000 off the spot, you know.
Yeah.
He goes, no, he's not worried about that. What can you work with? I go, well, this is what I can offer, and he took it.
Wow.
He took it, and I'm like, what? But see, that's what I'm saying. Word of mouth is
Yeah,
huge
'cause I can
because
get
the
you
way
some-
that people that leave from my place, the groups that I get from Utah, they love the way I treat them when they come to my place, and they love what I offer them and how I treat them.
The
And they're
hospitality.
the hospitality. They're like, not many places do that.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
And I think that's where it came in. And he goes, I love the way you treated me, and this
Yeah.
is what I want to do for you.
Wow. So okay, so then that would be the goal with the event center. You know, would be to bring artists in, because I you know, artists go to Cadwell, they go to Salt Lake, obviously.
No, I want to be big. I want to
And I'm
bring
like-
like Karin Leon,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I
like-
want to go. That's my baby. That's the only guy I would cheat my wife with. I said, that's the only guy I would ever be with, Karin Leon. I was like,
Is that she starts singing to you
yeah,
and everything,
like,
serenading?
no, I want to bring bigger groups. I want to bring something different here.
Yeah.
You know, I want.
Because I think
big
that's what Idaho
artists.
Falls needs. If I'm being completely honest, I think it needs a little bit of more modernization in a sense. You know, I
And
think
that's where I want to come in,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm looking at. So
yeah, because I look at it, I'm like, I think we're about 10 years behind the big cities. You know.
And you know, our population's over 100,000 easy already.
Yeah, which you know,
I mean,
half
counting,
of that is
yeah.
like Mexicans. You know,
Yes.
at least.
At least. And, you know, a lot of people goes like, if you had to change your ways, what way? Mexico, that would be about Mexico, man. Like,
Yeah.
they got my back, you know, and like, because I don't know how to put this to not offend anybody, but they're the ones that are always, I mean, we're the most talk-shitting people,
But we're the
But
most
we're-
supporting too.
the most people that leave the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do I put
Yeah.
it? Like,
I think for us Mexicans, money is not such a big deal. You know, I think it's more like there you go. you
but
know?
we bitch.
But
like,
yeah,
oh
we
God,
bitch
it's so expensive, but they still pay it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
They're like, I don't know how to put it to not offend anybody, but like,
Now, let me say this: there's some Mexicans who are real freaking cold, you
Yes,
know, and those
yeah.
guys, I'm like, stay away.
yeah. But the most that bring me son los mexicanos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I will never change. You know how hard it was for me to bring chips and salsa to my place?
Wow, really?
Because that's more Americanized to me.
Yeah.
I want to stay as authentic as I can.
Yeah.
But I had to, how do I say? Because I get a lot of Caucasians.
Oh yeah.
So I have to, how do I say that?
Combine
both, because I get best of both worlds.
Yeah, you have to combine the cultures.
The cultures.
It's more of a culture thing than anything else, I think,
Yeah, and I gotta be there for them too, because they come and they support me all week, you know what I mean? So I gotta give back to them and put something they want in.
Yeah.
Because I get both. I get the Mexicans and the white people, you know what I mean? Like, I
That's
really
awesome.
do, because I get all the doctors, all the lawyers, all that, and they're good people to me, and they... I'm like a lot of Mexican places don't get busy till Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Not me.
You're busy every day, dude.
Oh yeah, I've
time,
gone
because
on the week.
during the week, I
week?
get all those doctors and I get all those buildings around me that come to me.
Yeah. So how do you market yourself, Pelona? Because I've seen that in your store you have hats, you have shirts, you have there's always the Pelona brand on everything that you sell, provide, or give,
And,
so
and people go, why do you mark? Well, when they see that, like, oh, I've been there, or like, what do you see when you see Golden Arches? What do you know?
Golden Arches? I mean,
What do you see when you see Golden Arches? McDonald's, right?
oh yeah, I was like Golden Arches. I was like thinking of the
What do you see
San
when you
Francisco
see
Bridge.
there's a McDonald's.
Yeah, when you see the big old M.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
well, when I franchise, I want you to see me. I want you to see my avatar. They're like, oh, there's Pelona's Taco. Let's go. I want to franchise out.
You want to
soon.
franchise?
Oh, I do. I've had a lot of offers, but I'm still waiting.
What's the biggest offer you've gotten? Do you want to say? Or no? You don't have to say.
Nah, I don't want to say it
Okay, don't
because
say
I'm
it.
working on that right now. But
Okay.
I don't want to know in my recipes either, because I feel like
Is that what they ask when they want to franchise? Is to own the recipes and the name?
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. So if I do, I would be. People goes, how do you think this, Letty? I would be more like, if I franchise out, I want bags that are color coordinated.
Yeah. Why don't
So
you?
like this recipe, get the green bag, get this much out of the green bag, get this much out of the yellow bag, this much. I don't want to tell them what's in my recipe.
So it would be more like a licensing deal, right? You're licensing your brand.
That's why I'm like eerie about it, because my food's good, you guys. Like,
course.
I have it
mastered
it in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
so.
that's like Gordon Ramsay selling his damn recipes. He's never gonna sell his recipes.
No,
he licenses his recipes.
And it's funny. People goes, well, can you tell me? No, I can't. So they're like, well, why not? Well, because I can't. You know, like they think it's that easy, and it's not. I mean, I worked hard for it, so it's crazy how many people do ask and think that we're just gonna give it to them. It's like,
no, you can't. I mean, I think that would be the route.
I
right?
actually have my employees sign a contract where they can't.
An NDA. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's smart.
It's very smart.
Really smart.
You have to.
Because we've been burned a couple times, but they think they know, but they don't. They try to sell it somewhere else with like, if you only knew what we put behind your back and you think you're seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, those are the wits of the business world, right? I mean,
like my right cook knows it all, and she the 20 years, that's the one that knows it all.
And she signed an NDA. There you go.
Yep.
So she can't say anything. I mean, that's the wits of the business, and like even we're in a different industry, right? The podcast world, and even then, like I had to register my name. I had to register the podcast name. You
have to register everything.
Yeah, make sure nothing can be taken away from me, because like that it can go.
And like the nightclub, like my insurance, and it's crazy because the insurance are on top of that. We're like, she's a nightclub now, considered a night. So I had to get an audit, and they're like, well, yeah, she's registered. It's crazy. They're on to everything. So
the government does not miss a step on that stuff.
So you have to be legit with everything, and that's what I said. I don't want to hide anything. I don't want to do anything that I'm not supposed to. I want to be on point with everything, because I don't want them to come and say this, that. So you got to be on 10 steps ahead of everybody. And I know everybody's game, so I'm like, I'm 10 steps ahead. I already got it.
So would you ever take a partnership deal if someone came? I don't know if you've had a person come to you and be like, hey, I want to partner with you. Let me buy half of your business, 30% of your business.
They have, but why if I haven't made it by myself?
Interesting. Yeah, why would you, huh?
If everything's paid for.
That's
Why would I want to
question.
give them 30 of my cut? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I have made it 100.
Have you gotten a big offer for half of your business?
Oh yeah, but hell no.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? That's like someone coming to me and being like, I want to own half of your podcast. I would never.
Never, no.
And business partners are tricky.
And they try, and so I was like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Why?
So,
What can you offer me? Like, just take 30% of what I worked hard for? No way.
Yeah. So what would you? So with the business side of it, what would you give advice on? I mean, if someone's starting from the ground up, let's say my freaking, I don't know, a sister or whatever is trying to start a taco truck or something. Where would she have to start, or where would you recommend her to start?
Like I said, married to your business, be dedicated, and be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't do that, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Because for one, say you go to the taco truck and you went there because you like something,
Mm-hmm.
and you go back the second time, it's not the same.
Mm.
They're not going to go back. They're like,
Right.
oh, I liked it this time. It's a hit and miss. You can't. You have to have consistency.
That's happened to me so many times with so many places.
You can't do that. Okay, second, you can't say you're going to be open 10 to 8 and then you got 4 and then open back up at 5 and then not be there. And, well, God, her hours say 10 to 8 and then she's not here at 3 and it's closed for an hour and it's always hit and miss.
Yeah.
They're not going to go back. There you lose another customer.
Yeah.
You
hear
have
my
to
baby
be
crying.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to be consistent. And I go, even if when I first started, I had good days and bad days, but I was still there from 10 in the morning till midnight every day.
Yeah.
Not 1 minute closed, not one, every single day except
Yeah.
Mondays. And I was consistent.
Yeah.
Even if I got 2 or 3 customers a day, I was
What
still
about when
there.
you were sick? How do you deal with those days?
I still went in.
You still went in and
I still
pulled
went
through?
in. I mean,
pushed
I
through?
had knee surgery. I was there the second day.
Wow.
I was never, ever, ever, ever gone. And that's what I mean. I was consistent. Like, I was always there. I never closed. I was all in, or
Yeah.
I would have never made it to gain my customers because they knew I would be there.
So what do you think in Idaho Falls for a Mexican restaurant, right? What do you think is the top seller? The tacos? What do you think it
I'll
sells
tell you
more?
right now.
Oh, shit.
Watch every month.
Can
when
I guess?
Yeah.
I'll guess burritos.
Burritos?
Yeah, I think burritos are pretty big around here.
I think Los Albertos on First Street is the burrito plat.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. They have.
Sophie's good at that.
I
So,
actually want to have her in here.
yeah,
have to get back at
Sophie's
her.
good people. Compared to her, hell no, I would never beat her in burritos because she goes through.
She mastered the burrito game.
Yeah,
though.
she mastered the burritos, so she's the queen
I
of the
actually worked at
burritos.
her brother's place too, over on Skyline. And I don't think their numbers are, similar, but I think he even pulls, the burrito game pretty well.
Yeah, so Sophie's awesome at burritos. Like because sometimes when I run out of burrito tortillas, I go to her. She goes, how many boxes do you go of burritos a week? And I go, probably 1 or maybe 2 for burritos. You know how much she goes through a box?
20?
About 20.
Jesus. Yeah.
So that should tell you right there.
Yeah. So-
I'm more of a taco.
Yeah. person.
Taco, yeah. So
So where do you, okay, so if you're starting at a place, right, where do you get the meat from the tortillas, the places? Do you go to people?
I get my meat from my meat market. So we have a specialty in our tacos that we make. That's why it makes us unique.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we do it a little different. But let me see. Okay, monthly statements.
I feel so privileged that you're showing me this stuff, by the
Okay,
way.
so how many birria tacos do you think I sell a month?
A month? Oh, shit.
Of tacos.
So you sell them
birria is my number 1 seller
all...
of tacos.
Okay, I think you're probably selling close to 7,500. Holy smokes, I was way off.
That's just tacos de birria. And this is for
This is for this past month?
September.
Damn.
This last month.
So, okay, so off this number, because this is what you made that month, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
net, right?
Yep.
Off that,
And that was a slow month. No, this was in 2021.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, we're still off, okay? So watch.
let me just say this, guys. Her numbers are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. So that was last year. Let me do this year. Hold on. 2020.
I mean, so starting I mean, that's honestly probably the seller here around Idaho Falls is the tacos. It's just you have to add your own touch to it, correct?
Yes,
Is
and
it-
I
what do you
believe
think?
everybody has their own touch and their own. Okay, this is so 26,000. That was last. This was August.
Holy smokes! August just passed too. What the hell?
Yeah. So
Damn. So why do you
see,
think?
look at my July sales. So look at my media sales.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that I don't think they're gonna go under that.
No.
I think it's only gonna get more and more.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such a and so okay. So to make a taco, how much does it cost you? Because that's a lot. That's you're making good margins.
Yeah. A lot of things went up too. So it was hard for me to even raise my prices now because everything, I wasn't making any profit these last 6 months, and I'm like, something's wrong.
Yeah,
like I got to raise something.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which is totally understandable. I mean,
okay. So I sell a lot of fries, Garcia fries. I name
Okay.
them Garcia fries because they're not just carne asada. You can do birria, you can do
Okay.
adobada, you can do it your own touch, your own meat touch. And this should tell you right there. I was paying $19.96 for a box of papas. I'm paying $44
holy smokes.
for the same amount, and my meat went up doubled.
Wow. So how do you make that work if your boxes, if you're, I mean, it went more than almost like what, 100% more?
So I had to raise it up at least $2 more.
Wow.
It's just you gotta know your profit and to make money too. Like my meat doubled. So like I used to sell $250 taco. I'm selling $4 tacos now. $3.75 because the corn went up, the masa went up. It's more than doubled the masa.
Yeah. And you won't find any place that sells less than $3.50 tacos.
And they're not selling. They're selling for 99 cents. I hate to say it. If you're selling your tacos for 99 cents, because there's something wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing with restaurants, right? You have to add the quality to it.
Yes, and I back up mine. Like I'm not cheap with my meat. I know what I'm selling. If you're gonna bitch about $3.75 a taco, then you don't know what you're missing because mine are not pre-made and it's fresh. My meat's cut fresh every day. It's cooked fresh every day.
Yeah.
You don't have a day old meat and a day old anything for me. I do everything fresh every single day. Wow. One of these days I'm gonna video everything we do every day and just do like a little real video.
That's gonna be awesome.
Because we cut my produce every day. We do our beans every day. We do our rice every day. We do birria every day. We do. There's nothing. We know how much we sell a day to make it for that day. So, and if anything, there's probably a cup of rice left, or because I already know what I sell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the restaurant business, right, or industry, as I told you a bit ago, a guy told me that's a big, overhead to get into, right? Like it's a dangerous business. We've talked about the good of the business that you've provided, right? You've done really good for yourself. What are some of the bad that you've encountered?
The criticism, the haters,
That's the worst?
That's probably the worst because
no money loss?
And
no money loss or anything like that?
Not really.
Okay.
Because if I've lost, I don't think I've lost, but I think I put all my money back into the meat market. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't making because we were selling, but I really had to watch what I was doing because I put all my money into the meat market. Yeah. I invested in that.
So I'm
barely making it all back again. So by next year I should be good again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people think because you have good sales, you go spend that money. No, I put everything back into my business.
Reinvest it.
I reinvest it and I don't spend any of it and I give myself a paycheck.
Right.
Because if I go spend it, then I wouldn't have what I have.
Which a lot of business owners tend to do when the money starts to come in, right?
Okay, what if you have a bad day? Where are you going to get that money out of because you went to go spend it?
Yeah. That's a tough spot to be in. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then the thing too is that you've also, from what I'm getting at, is that you've built a really good operation system that you know exactly how much, like you said,
I know how much
everything.
I have a measure size bean sauce where each taco has to have the right amount of tacos. Right. Or it's like,
and that's the nitty gritty business operation systems. Like that's
Because you'll never get less or nothing more. And if you're doing less, it's because you're not doing something right. And I go look at you. What are you doing wrong? I have to go look at you. What are you not doing?
Wow. So then the worst that you've gotten is the criticism and the hate.
The hate because I'm doing so good, but obviously people tell me, and you got to look at it this way. You know, it gets to you, and you're like, you know, I must be doing something right, because if I didn't have that criticism,
where would you be at?
Where would I be at?
Exactly.
My name speaks for itself.
Yeah. So what's the hate that you've gotten? Like, what are some of the comments or things?
Because people like. I like to have fun I don't like to be boring, and people are like just weird. Like I do Snapchats and all this, and like and dancing and all this, and this is after hours. This is after hours, and after we're cleaning, we're dancing and all this. Oh, you're not supposed to be doing that. That's a health code, honey. I'm closed. I know what I'm supposed to not do. You know what I mean? Like we can't be a Karen and be all. You know what I mean? Like come on. If I didn't know what I was doing, I wouldn't be this far. But it's people like that try to bring you down, but you just come up stronger. It's like, at first it used to get to me because I knew I wasn't, you know, but then they told me this way: if they're not criticizing you and they're not putting you down, you're not doing
something right.
Yep. Yeah. And like I tell people, fast food is not good, and fast food, like how do I put it? Good food is not fast, and fast food is not good. You know what I mean? True. My food is not fast food. A lot of people consider it fast food, and it's not. It's not pre-made. It's fresh. And if you're willing to wait, I mean, when you got to understand, our food is not pre-made. So if we have 20 tickets down, it's going to take a little bit longer when you're the 21st person. But if you're the second person down, it's going to be quick. Because my cooks are fast. Yep. But it's the orders that are ahead of you. It's not. We're not going to skip because you have one taco. It's we go order by ticket. Yeah,
that's I think that shows that you are also like very
and it's like, oh, you need to get more help. It's not the help, honey. It's because we do order by ticket. We're very specific in what we do.
And if I was because I am a customer, I think I actually like that more, that you're like that, instead of the other way around. If you were to give the guy who went with one taco first instead of me, even though he was number 21, I'm number 20, you know? I'd be like, what the heck, dude? Like,
I don't like to skip, and I don't like to do that because for that reason.
Like that's like cutting in line, you know? That pisses you off.
And I'm like, and I let the people, hey, just so you know, we're kind of busy. It's going to take a little bit longer. There's 20 tickets up. We'll try to get as fast. But we have a movement where we move faster. We finally got the routine down where we're faster. We work way faster than before. But at first we had a lot of criticism because we were taking forever, but it was a new place. We needed to get used to the routine. You know, I was working with one little grill like this. I'm working with 4 grills now.
Holy shit.
And they're
bigger
probably
size?
like, I have 2 kitchens in my place.
Wow.
Where my ladies prep all my food for the front.
Yeah.
So I have 2 kitchens where all the ladies are cooking my birria, my pollo, my asada, my adobada, and bringing it up to the front so they can put it together.
Wow. How many employees do you have?
10.
Wow. Damn. So, okay. So, oh man, I have a lot of questions, and I think we're almost out of time, huh? What?
We're at 120.
Oh shit. Okay. I got 3 more questions.
Can you believe that? 10 employees out of just me and my
Yeah. That's okay. That goes with the first question I have. You have 10. Okay. Obviously, you grew to 10 employees, which is not easy at all.
No.
And to deal with 10 employees is a headache, I bet, sometimes. How do you want to expand that and go to 15, 20, or do you think 10 is the golden number for you?
10 is for the golden number for where I'm at. But I have something up my sleeve right now where I'm going to have my taco truck on the west side. So I'm getting 2 more employees to run that.
You're going to have 12.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens.
From there, and like I said, I want to go bigger. I want to put it all together. I want eventually my meat market, my restaurant, a tortillera, a bakery, aguas frescas, have Maria come rent for me. Yeah. Like different spots for everybody to come in and join and have all together.
Have a good time. What you gave your one of your employees, your 20-year-old employee that has been with you, you gave her a truck. Where does that idea come from, and why a truck? And like, why not a purse or something like that? Why a truck?
Why a truck?
Yeah.
Because
that's a big
purchase.
Okay.
Not because I was like, she goes, well, she told me, I'm going to give you 5 more years of my time and I'm going back to Mexico. I was like, okay, let's get somebody in that you trust so we can start training her.
Yeah.
And people go say, why is it going to take 5 years to train this person? Because I don't want nothing to change.
Right.
I'm very specific with my ingredients, and I don't want you to have something different when she leaves.
Yeah.
You know, even though I know I'm all, but we're training somebody
Yeah.
to do it the way she did it. And it's not easy. Some people train people 2 months, 3 months, and you know, if you go to any place and they keep changing the cooks, it's always different. That's
Yes.
not one thing I don't want. Why is McDonald's so successful? Because you can go to Tokyo and it's the same,
Exactly. It's the
even
same
though it's
damn
processed, but it's the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
taste.
And that's what made them so big too.
That's why I don't want. So
Yeah.
like if you go on the west side, I want you to have the same food as me on this side.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to change. So it takes about 5 years to train somebody for me.
Wow.
I'm very that picky. So,
Okay.
and the reason why I gave her a truck, I go, what do you, like, she's going back to Mexico and she's like, she goes, oh, I would have loved to have a truck because in Mexico you can't have cars, blah, blah, blah. And she never told me, like, I knew this.
Yeah.
And she don't even drive.
Wow.
She don't even drive. Her
Yeah.
husband drives. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to show you how to drive. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, I wouldn't. I was like, and the reason why I got her a truck is so when she goes to Mexico, she can take that truck and have it in Mexico and
Yeah. Live her life
Live
the
her
way,
life
the,
the
live her
way-
life out. in
Yeah,
that- in
that's
that
why.
Truck. That's awesome.
yeah. And she goes, and I want you to take me to Mexico when I do leave. And I go, okay, we'll get you a truck. We'll load up everything you want to take home. And
Wow.
I'll take her personally in that truck and I'll just fly back because she wants me to get to know her place. And that lady, let me tell you what, she's built 3 homes for her kids.
Holy
put them through
smokes.
college.
Wow.
Every kid.
Oh yeah.
And
Holy
that
smokes.
my 20, that lady, she's made a house for each one of her kids and she's put her kids through college.
Damn.
She's
Now
very
she's leaving her own legacy
Yeah.
too. She'll be known as Pelona's right hand.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
and
that's
she's
awesome.
she's put her kids through school, built them their own home. She's actually building the last one right now.
Wow.
And
Damn.
not little homes, like she
Yeah.
has a good
Yeah.
Good sized homes.
good size
I remember when she would go and send money
Yeah.
at the place that I would work at every week.
every week.
Every week. And it
she
wasn't just
still-
like anything. It was a good amount.
yeah,
Wow.
Probably her whole
big
paycheck.
paycheck.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's my highest paying person.
Paying her. Okay. One more. Okay. 2 more questions. One is with cooks like that. Do you pay them salary or hourly?
Hourly.
Okay.
Well, not even that. I see their worth.
Yeah. You have to.
I see their worth. And
Yeah.
it's not. And Helena's put a lot of time in. And,
Yeah.
and I think she deserves more than I pay her, but I think I pay her pretty good.
Yeah.
And I see their worth just like my other cooks. I see their worth and their struggles. Because it's not easy.
Yep.
Because and I can be the arrogant asshole or boss and just sit in there and watch them, but I'm right beside them.
Right.
Day and night. I don't leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work just as hard as them. Like I send them to do things and I tell them I wouldn't tell you to do something I couldn't do.
Yeah. That's a good.
I've been there
That's a
and
good
I've
leader.
done that. And I wouldn't tell you something I couldn't do.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. I've been to the bottom. I've done everything you guys have done, but
Yeah.
I have workers now. But I'm not going to leave you guys high and dry. I'm going to be right beside you and work with you.
That's a good leader. That's what a leader mindset.
And a lot
is.
of people have businesses, and just because they're owners, they leave their workers.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him.
I don't.
Like
will
I was
not.
like, she's always there. Always.
I will
Like
not
she's
leave
always working. Like that's awesome.
I will not leave them.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
when they're busy and they need a hand, I step right in and boom, boom, boom.
Come on,
Help
let's
them.
get it.
Let's get it.
Wow. So how does Pelona enjoy her life now after 10 years of business and success
And
you know, struggles and everything?
because my wife has her own business too. She's been cleaning for 20 years.
Oh wow.
She's
Shout out to
finally
her.
retiring from that because I told her, we're getting older. We've got to start thinking about a 401k because self-employment, we don't have insurance.
Yeah.
We don't have 401k. We don't have retirement. I go, you need to get a job that has insurance for both of us. We're
Yeah.
getting older, retirement, and a 401k.
Wow.
So she got a job at the county.
Damn. That's awesome.
So
Look at
she
that.
got a job at the county. She starts October 10th. And it's a whole change for her. Her customers, her cleaning people are very, very sad, but they're happy for her at the same time.
That's awesome.
Because I said, and they respect that. They're like, we're getting older. Me and my honey need to get insurance. We're getting older. We need a 401k, and we just need to start looking out for us where we can enjoy our lives.
Yeah.
Now.
So okay. Do you have any questions for her? Do you have anything you want to ask her?
No.
Nope.
Let me tell you, she was very excited for you to come.
Oh, really? Oh,
She told me, she's like, you have to.
I mean, there's still a lot more we need to talk about.
Of course. We'll do
Part
I
two.
know. That's why I'm
two.
like,
Yeah.
She's like-
I mean, I think we just jump back and forth.
Yeah.
But, the one that, it's tough, you guys. I've had a lot of, how do I say it, family things that I couldn't attend to. There's
Family
a lot of things that I couldn't do, but the outcome's going to be good at the end. And I tell her that. So I said, next year when everything we're caught up and, I paid everything back from the meat market and all that, I think it's time we need to start. I made myself a promise, give myself 2 vacations a year when my dad passed. Because my dad was the type that he worked
He was always at the restaurant. I would always see him there.
always. And he was getting ready to retire. He was so happy. And he was like, oh, January can't come soon enough. I just got approved for Social Security. I was going to buy his business.
Okay.
So he was going to hand it to me, and I was buying it from him to keep going. And it didn't, just things changed. I don't want to talk about it. It's just very ugly.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it like that.
Yeah.
So I think he was so excited, but he didn't get to enjoy it. My dad was a millionaire, and nobody knew it.
Wow.
I'll just tell you that right now. He had 20 rental houses paid for.
Wow.
No debt.
shit.
You're making some good money at that. 20? Holy smokes.
20 homes or rentals, and he had everything paid for, was debt free, and he was getting ready to retire and enjoy his life, and didn't get to enjoy it.
Wow. Yeah, and that's, I think,
And I told myself, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I go, and that first year I said we could take, because I have 3 girls that I've raised since they were 4 years old, 4 and 5. They're 16, 15 now.
Wow.
And my other oldest is a 24. She was 14 when I came into her life, but she's like 23, sorry. And she has a hair place now. It's called Deep Roots. I got her into
Shout out
that
to
place.
Deep Roots.
Isley. My 17-year-old wants to be a welder. So
That's badass.
yeah, she's a welder.
Hell yeah.
And she's already going to school for that. So
Shout out to her.
yeah, and my 15-year-old wants to be a person that paints cars. What is that called?
Oh, car painter. I mean,
Car painter, yeah.
Yeah.
So my welder, I said, I'm investing a lot of money. You're my retirement. So she already got a job offer at the site. So
awesome.
wow.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I said 2 out of the year, I'll take one of my girls somewhere, and then I'll go somewhere with my wife. So last year we went to the Oregon coast, and then we went to Hawaii and stuff.
Where's
like
this year
that.
going?
I don't know. This year I did it because I put all my money into my.
Oh, this year's the break year.
The break year, but next year, if everything goes according to plan, we're back up and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So I'll get
That's
all
awesome.
my money back. So
I'm glad that you're doing that for yourself. I think that's very important to do.
you got to take time for yourself. And I told my wife 5 years, just give me 5 years, and it's been 10. She goes, how many more now, wife? And I go, you're stuck with me. No,
Yeah.
no, but she knows I'd go crazy if I just sat at home my mind's always going. I'm even working at home all the time. And
Yeah.
it's crazy because I started doing this nightclub, and I didn't know nothing about graphics and all that. And I'm like, I look back when I first started doing my own commercials.
Yeah.
And I see how cheesy they were compared to now, and I'm like, I'm still working on it, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, did I really post that? And I'm like, but it's work,
Of course.
you got to learn your stuff to do it.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill, yeah. And I'm like, but I wasn't gonna pay $150 to get it made every week when I could do it myself. I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like, I'm getting better and better and better. So
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it. That's how we started with this podcast. You asked when you came in here kind of how it started, and I told her, I was like, I don't know how to, I don't know anything about podcasting. All I know is that I want to do it, and that's it. And we went into debt. A good amount of debt.
You do.
And I was like, I just told her, I was like, I just have a lot of faith in this podcast. I have a lot of faith in the idea I have.
So how do you make your money out of this?
I don't. This is all like basically free work until, I get to the point where I can start monetizing. And I don't charge any guest.
Why?
Because I want guests to come. I want to invite guests without having to charge them because I want them to come.
So do you get paid eventually, like with people subscribing to you?
Yeah, eventually when the podcast gets to a bigger size, with listeners on Spotify, with subscribers on YouTube, things like, and then you can start getting sponsorships, and you can get paid.
You come to me when you want me to sponsor you, and I'll take care of you.
Oh, damn, that's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, so
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll take care of you.
Yeah, because
that's what I do. That's what I mean. I like to give back to the community, and I've helped out a lot of people and a lot of sponsors, and get my name out there. And I even have gear like with my name, everything. I put a lot of money into it, but just to get my name out there. And people go, "Why do you do that?" Because anybody can have a sweatshirt. Oh man, where's that place? It's just all social media. Like everything is big off social media. Your cups, your gear, anybody wearing a hat, I mean, social media is basically where it's at.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the value I try to, I've had conversations with people who we talked about sponsoring, and I told them, I was like, listen, if you look at our numbers, we've done this podcast, it'll be a year in January. And the numbers that we have are pretty good for, the year that we've been. I'm like, it's only going to get bigger, and our consistency's it's there. We post twice a week, every week.
Oh, cool.
So we're at 80. You're going to be episode 81.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, it's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Better and better. Yeah.
And
just don't give up. Don't give up. Be consistent and do your thing, and don't, like I said, I tell people criticism is the worst, but it's because you're doing something right.
Exactly.
So
that's
if there
how
wasn't
we
criticism, then you're not doing nothing right, And that's the way I look at it. Because at first it used to get to me. I was like, you know what? If they're not criticizing, it's because something they're not liking what I'm doing or what I'm growing into or something like that. But I know what I'm doing, and I know God has me.
Yep.
If it wasn't for the man upstairs and my dad's legacy, we wouldn't be where I'm at. And I only have faith, and it's going to keep getting better and doing big things. And
only growth from that. And I think you have to hang out with people who are like that too.
Yeah.
I struggled, with that.
With that, because there's a lot of people that say they're your friends, but they're your worst.
Exactly.
It could be your worst. It could be your closest friend, and
the worst critic ever. And I struggle with that. I thank God I have good friends, and the close friends to me know who they are, and it is what it is now. But it's not easy, and it's not easy to find people who are entrepreneurial. I think we are in a society where we live where it's very go to school, get a college degree, and then type of.
I'll tell you what, I never graduated from school.
Look at that, and I think you're
I've never graduated from school, and most people that graduated my year that I thought they were going to do awesome are down under me, and look at me. It's because I push. I think it's the drive. You just have to keep going and going and going, even if the criticism and. Like they looked at me as a felon. Okay, I'll show you what I can bring and I can get. So.
Yeah, damn. That's the way to. I think that's the way to end it. Look at you. You made it.
That's a story.
That's a damn story. We'll have to do part 2 for sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back in and talk more.
Alrighty.
This is super awesome.
Thank you guys.
I appreciate you again.
Thank you.
If it wasn't for my wife pushing me and her telling me for the first time,
No, thank you.
I probably would have still not asked you because I probably would have been scared.
No, don't be scared. I'm just a big teddy bear. No, a lot of people get like intimidated by me, but I'm the most humble, coolest person you'll ever meet, and loyal and faithful, and I just feel like a lot of people pursue me different when they see me, but
And I'll tell you what, they probably think that because they haven't gone up and talked to you. Because when I went up to you and talked to you, when I was paying for whatever I was buying that day, and I told you, hey, I'm Brandon, you want to come on a podcast? And you told me, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, cool, can I get your number or something? You gave me your number. I was like, she is humble.
Yes.
And she is down to earth. First, you didn't even give me your Instagram or Facebook. You gave me your phone number.
And I go, I don't give this to a lot of people, but here's my personal number.
And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
because that's how I am. If I see it in you, like, you got it, like, that's how I am. I just don't give it to anybody.
Yeah.
I looked at you for a minute. I'm like, oh,
Like, this
okay.
is sketchy.
Yeah, no, I could tell where you were coming from. Like, oh, this guy's down. You know, like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm flattered. That's why I get flattered when people say, "Oh, come to my podcast," because
Yeah.
obviously I'm doing something right or doing,
Heck
doing
yeah.
something. So
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, do you have any social medias you want to plug in?
no, I'm good.
All right.
I think I've done enough talking, but thank you all
Yeah.
for all the supporters and everything that comes to me, and
Thank you guys. for
hopefully
everything.
everything's coming up and better for better
I
things.
can't wait for the future.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We did it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.